For those who live near an existing pipeline route, one of the biggest concerns is what happens when something goes wrong. Some residents in central Michigan are living through that now after a major oil spill in 2010. Alberta crude was being transported between Griffith, Indiana and Sarnia, Ontario, when the Enbridge pipeline ruptured. Millions of liters of heavy oil spewed into the Kalamazoo River, and 3 years later, the consequences still linger. Our Margot McDermott went to check it out.
The Kalamazoo River is a living laboratory, a case study on what happens when heavy oil gets into water.
It's a little bit of a different animal when the oil you're dealing with sinks.
It was the worst on-land spill in U.S. history. Over 3 million liters of heavy oil spilled from a broken Enbridge pipeline. Thousands of liters sank to the bottom. It's been more than 3 years since the oil spilled into the Kalamazoo River, and at first glance you really can't tell there was an oil spill here at all. But if you look at the water more carefully, you can see a thin sheen of oil in parts of the river. Okay, so what are we seeing right here?
That is what they're calling spontaneous sheen.
Okay. That sheen is oil stuck in the mud, rising to the surface.
Well, what we see out here is one of the 4 dredges we have in this Ceresco area.
Jeff Kimball is with the U.S. agency that's ordered Enbridge to dredge the Kalamazoo.
If you don't get in there and remove the oil while it's there, you have a large chance of losing it, and losing it downstream where we don't know what the effects are going to be.
The cleanup has cost Enbridge $1 billion so far. Now it's spending months scooping up river sediment, separating it from the water.
I don't think anybody could have done a better job than we have. It's not to say that we're proud of what had happened here, but we do believe that we have tried to do everything possible to make it right and to clean it up responsibly.
But some in the nearby town of Ceresco say things aren't all right.
The ceiling is all coming down.
Deb Miller had to close her carpet store because of the oil. Enbridge bought her property as compensation, along with 150 others, but she still lost the business. And she worries about living downstream of the spill.
You can put zeros on a check. They don't replace what you took from me. It won't replace my health. It won't replace, just the stress of what we've been through.
More stress nearby at Dave Gallagher's house.
They're just working along their easement, so.
It's right by your house.
Yeah, might as well be in it.
Enbridge is replacing its broken pipeline with a new one, meters behind Gallagher's house.
What is my safety zone? If this pipeline should leak behind my house, how much time do my wife and I have before we can get out?
Jim Dobbins is a retired family doctor who's used the river all his life. He thinks Enbridge has lived up to its promises.
We need the energy. Enbridge has been a good company, I think, and so my anger is not there.
But the spill has ramped up public scrutiny of the company. It comes up each time Enbridge proposes new pipelines in Canada and the U.S.
The legacy for us is not that you can clean up a major oil spill after it occurs. The legacy for us is how do you make sure it never happens again.
Meanwhile, the cleanup of the Kalamazoo is very much a work in progress, with a clean bill of health still years away. Margot McDermott, CBC News, Ceresco, Michigan.